You're watching LMCC.
Hi, I'm Kellie Murphy-Ringate, Fire Marshal and Public Educator for the Excelsior Fire District, and welcome to First Responder TV, your local public safety source, featuring training exercises, safety tips, and much more. Here's what's coming up on First Responder TV. I'll introduce you to Minnesota State Fire Marshal Jim Smith and highlight ways you can prevent fires in the home. Newly appointed Medina Police Chief Jason Nelson goes above and beyond to serve the community on making a difference. The Long Lake Fire Department needs your help creating fire safety videos for their fire prevention open house. Scam Alert will give an update on scams that have been targeting citizens in the lake area. Joining me now is Jim Smith, Minnesota State Fire Marshal. Thanks for coming, Jim.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so let's start by telling us about your background before you became the Minnesota State Fire Marshal.
Well, I started the fire service in 1980 as a paid-on-call firefighter for New Hope Fire Department. And then when my family moved up to Maple Grove, I was on Maple Grove for a couple of years, was able to get a full-time position at North Memorial as a paramedic. And then Edina Fire Department was hiring fire paramedics, so I applied and got the job there. And then in 1991, St. Paul was doing a hiring of paramedic firefighters, and I was lucky enough to get one of those 6 positions. And for the next 27 years, I was with the St. Paul Fire Department, moving up from firefighter to captain, training officer, and ending my career in 2014 as Assistant Chief of Operations. I was actually retired for only 30 days.
Okay.
And I had applied for the Chief Deputy Fire Marshal position, and I was very fortunate to get that. In December of 2019 is when Bruce West was promoted to Assistant Commissioner. And I was asked by the Commissioner of Public Safety to fill his role as Fire Marshal.
So you're there, so tell us about your position as the Minnesota State Fire Marshal.
In the Department of Public Safety, it is considered a division director, so I'm in charge of the Fire Marshal division. Along with being the State Fire Marshal, I am also in charge of Minnesota Office of Pipeline Safety, which is the safety people for all the pipeline that comes in and out of Minnesota. And I also work very closely with the Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education.
So tell us about the Fire Marshal's division.
It's getting a little more complex as time goes on. It started many years ago as just a single person as a fire marshal. We had a catastrophic hotel fire back in the 70s, and then they put on fire investigators. And since then, we've done or added inspectors, fire investigations, we have data analysts, we have a public education segment, code specialists, and in the past 4 years we've really beefed up our what we call our fire service specialists for people who travel the state and assist fire departments.
Yeah, so you're a support system.
It is a tremendous support system, yeah, for the fire service, yes.
So what is your favorite thing about being the Minnesota State Fire Marshal?
Working with the fire departments and meeting, there's 775 fire departments across the state. So I go to the regional meetings, I get to meet the fire chiefs, the firefighters. I get to learn more about what they're experiencing in the state. And I am a proactive person at heart, so I always like to hear this stuff and deal with it on the proactive end, look down the road and see what can we head off before it even happens. And across the state, there's a lot of issues that are affecting fire departments.
As far as assisting fire departments and our citizens, I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So what is the most common cause of fire in the state of Minnesota?
Right now, cooking is still the #1 cause of fires in Minnesota. 45% of all residential fires are caused by cooking. A lot of people think that careless smoking is a cause, or a high cause. It actually is a very low cause of fire. So only about 3% of all fires in Minnesota are caused by careless smoking. What is extremely concerning, though, is that the fire fatalities, the deaths caused by careless smoking, is 27%. Cooking, it's only 8%. So even though it's a small number, very high fatality rate. Cooking, a very high number with low fatalities. So those two are really at the pinpoint of our focus on educating and getting people to be more aware of the issues that can happen with cooking and careless smoking.
Basically, prevention comes into place. So can you tell us how people can prevent fires where they live, be it in a home, a condo, an apartment?
Being that cooking is the number one, is always remain in the kitchen while you're cooking. Always be aware of the fact that you've got a very hot thing on the stove, and that can start on fire very quickly. Always have precautions in place, like a lid, a cookie sheet or something like that, just in case what you're cooking does start on fire. The other thing you want to make sure you do is always have, it's not on the prevention side, but it's on the alerting side, is having smoke alarms throughout the homes, residences. Now in your condos and apartments, by state law, they have to have them. But make sure that they're working, because a non-working smoke alarm is just as bad as not having one at all. So make sure that you always have working smoke alarms. Make sure your kids understand what cooking is, that it is not a toy. The stove is not a toy, it's a tool, and they should stay away from it.
Do only families need to prepare for a fire, or do other people need to prepare for an occurrence of fire where they live?
Preparing for a fire really is an individual thing. Everybody has to be aware of what can cause a fire, and if a fire occurs, what should I do? And this goes not only with residences but businesses. You know, making sure your businesses are safe. Many businesses out there have what we commonly jokingly refer to as a cube farm. Okay, do your employees know how to escape from a cube farm? Because it can be a maze back there. You know, so it's not just the homes, it's not just the businesses, it's also maybe hotels. If you're going to a hotel, I always tell everybody that I know, count the doors that lead to the exit. So you know when you come out of your hotel room, if you have to turn right, count the doors, because that exit sign above the door very well could be obscured by smoke. And you're not going to see it. So it's all that preparation stuff. You look at the sign on the back of the door that all hotels have to have. So fires can happen anywhere to anybody, and it is really up to the individual to prepare themselves just in case something goes wrong.
A great example of that is when people go to a theater, be it a movie theater or live play, people tend to want to go in the door they came out the door they came in, and you're just like an airplane, your exit might be right there.
Exactly. And it's unfortunate that people put that off to the side, because to a certain extent our society has become very technologically advanced when it comes to fire suppression with sprinklers and all of that. But there's no guarantee at any time that you're going to be 100% safe. So when you go into the theater, when you go into a shopping mall or something like that, like you say, the humanistic thing is to go out the way you came in. Look for the exits and be aware of where you are. Just be self-aware. And it's just a very simple thing to do that could probably save your life.
So it's summer.
Yep.
We're in the middle of it. What are some outdoor safety tips that you could tell our listeners and our viewers?
The big thing is the awareness of outdoor fire safety. And when I talk about outdoor fire safety, I'm not only talking about campfires, but barbecue grills and things like that. If you have a barbecue grill on your deck or patio of your home, make sure that it is far enough away from your home that if it starts on fire, the radiant heat is not going to start the house on fire. The flames may not touch it at all, but the radiant heat could cause damage. Again, gas grills, charcoal grills, that's a tool. So you want to make sure your kids stay far enough away from the gas or charcoal grill while you're cooking. When it comes to campfires or backyard fire pits, you want to have those at least 25 feet away from any type of thing that can burn. I think one of the best things to do is before you even start a fire is make sure that it's safe to have an outdoor fire. If you were in the rural area, the DNR is very good on posting on their website if it's a burning ban or something like that.
Every day.
That's what you do before you even start the fire. Once you start the fire, keep the flame to about 4 foot. You don't need a bonfire that's 12 feet high or anything like that. Keep it nice and small. Keep children away, 3 to 6 feet. I like 6 feet myself. Keep everybody in a nice, safe distance. Always have some form of bucket of water or something like that to put out fires, and just be very aware of children. I'm always concerned about children because they love campfires and we like to have s'mores and all of that stuff. Parents have to always watch the children. We just
So no tag, no playing tag around the campfire?
No playing tag.
No horseplay?
Yeah, and I actually go a little further. I'm not a big fan of bare feet around campfires because, you know, you get that little pop of an ember and you can get a burn on the bottom of your foot or something like that. Not lethal, but extremely painful.
And uncomfortable.
And uncomfortable.
Worst place to have them.
Yep. So just protect your feet and all that.
So Jim, is there anything we haven't talked about today that you would like to cover?
I think the biggest thing is when we look at the cooking and smoking is our desire to make people aware of their own actions. Home fires just don't happen. Apartment fires just don't happen. There's most likely a human element to that. And if we can get everybody to be aware of how to be safe while you're cooking, don't smoke while you're in bed, things like that, we can reduce not only the fires but the fatalities that we've seen along with them. And always have working smoke alarms in your home.
Yes, and if they're over 10 years old, they got that yellow color to them, they're probably over 10 years old and need to be replaced.
Yes, yellow smoke detectors or smoke alarms are not good.
Yeah, they didn't come off the shelf, that color.
No, and they are, and the price nowadays is, the price you pay for a smoke alarm and the benefits you get from it are just...
Right, and there's so many kinds out there. There's Wi-Fi connected now. And
going to your cell phone. It's unbelievable what's out there right now. And it is a very small investment for a huge return on your family safety, yours or your family's safety.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your very busy schedule to for this interview and to answer some questions.
Well, thank you for having me again. It's been a wonderful time.
We like to spotlight a member of the community that goes above and beyond in our segment, Making a Difference. This month, it's Medina Police Chief Jason Nelson, who recently took over as chief after serving the city for 20 years.
I went to law enforcement school in Alexandria, Minnesota, Alexandria Technical College, back in 1992, 93. Became a police officer shortly after graduating. I moved to North Sioux City, South Dakota. Then I went to California and worked for the Ventura County Sheriff's Department in California for a short time. Did not fit in with California. I'm a Minnesota boy and decided to move back to South Dakota. And I was promoted shortly thereafter and became a sergeant in South Dakota. And in 2000, I decided to move back to Minnesota. So October 2000, I got hired on with the Medina Police Department. And I guess the rest is history. I've been with Medina since October of 2000. April Fool's Day was the day I took over as Chief of Police. April Fool's Day, coincidentally, is my birthday. At that time, COVID was out. So we went from COVID to the incident in Minneapolis and the civil unrest. These two things are kind of unprecedented things for most chiefs and COVID for sure, you know, pandemic type situations. So I've been kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit, and we're learning as we go. It's been an interesting 2.5 months. It's not how I envisioned the transition of the old chief leaving and the new chief coming in. Right off the bat, I've been trying to be open and transparent. I think transparency is a big thing. It's crucial for the community members to know that our records and our policy and procedures are for anybody to look at. Community members have been emailing since the incident in Minneapolis with Mr. Floyd, questions about police reform and how do our policies and procedures stack up to what other agencies are doing. And I'm very by the book, like everybody to understand where I'm coming from, and that includes the officers. There's no room for what we saw in Minneapolis. What we saw there was a tragedy. It really is a black eye on our profession, and obviously we're seeing the repercussions from that on a daily basis right now, and it's going to take some time, and things didn't happen overnight, and they're not going to get fixed overnight either. Every other year we go through our entire policy manual and we update and refresh. As far as other policies and procedures, I don't anticipate a whole lot of changes. We have most of these things already in place. For example, prohibiting chokeholds or carotid holds. We've never allowed that in Medina. So a lot of these things that people are talking about, we already have those in place. We train a lot on that, and I'm really impressed with where we're at and where the previous chief left us. We're definitely ahead of the curve. Mental health is a big thing. In years past, the old tough cops kept all that stuff in, and then it came out at some point. We're trying to get ahead of that curve, but we want to mandate it that they have to go, even though they may not want to go. Once they get there, start talking, and then things get easier, and you open up a little bit and not wait till it gets to be a crisis scenario, because the mind gets broken, and it can be a fragile thing. It can be a stubborn thing, but it can be a fragile thing. So definitely looking at other area departments' models and how they're doing it, and that's one of the things that we're going to be working on over the next 6-8 months. I keep telling the staff, the officers, that there are more people that care for us than that don't. And it really is prevalent in our community. My door is always open. They can call, they can stop into the office, they can email me, definitely. I want to be open, transparent as a police chief. I expect and I demand that our officers on the road treat people professionally, and I will hold them accountable, definitely, if they're not. I believe that we have to provide great service to our residents. And as far as the Medina Police Department goes, we just want to continue on to serve as we have been. I think we have a great police department. So as the community continues to develop, the police department will obviously change also with the community.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
With new social distancing guidelines, the Long Lake Fire Department Fire Prevention Open House will look a little different this year. That's why they need your help to get the fire safety messages out to the community.
Hey everybody, I'm Fire Captain Scott Spinks from the Long Lake Fire Department, and I'm here with Sparky the fire dog. We're here to remind you guys of our Fire Prevention Open House coming up on October 5th. In other years at our open house, we've done live fire demonstrations, we've done car extrication demos, we've had visitors from the Orono Police Department, the Wayzata Police Department, North Memorial Ambulance, and even the National Weather Service. With the new social distancing guidelines, we're gonna have to do things a little differently this year. What's that, Sparky? Oh yeah, at least 6 feet apart. Nice job. Good call, Sparky. It's still important that we get our fire safety messages out to all of our communities, and we're gonna ask you guys to help us by making some fire safety videos. So here's how it's gonna work. On the Long Lake Fire Facebook page, you'll find the fire safety tip sheets. These sheets give you all the information you need so you can help us educate the public about fire safety. You get to pick a topic. There's kitchen fire safety, there's smoke alarms, there's a family escape plan. Then you make a video. You can use your cell phone or your iPad or whatever video making device your family might have, and then you're gonna submit that video to us through our Facebook page. So I know you're wondering, what are these videos supposed to look like? Well, here's the great part. I've got an example for you back in the old day, the old Long Lake Fire Department. We're looking for videos that are between 60 seconds and 2 minutes long. We want them to focus on fire safety. We want them to be G-rated so everybody can enjoy them, and we want you guys to be safe while you're filming these videos. We also need these videos submitted to us by September 15th so we can go through them and pick our favorites. The most important part is that you have fun and that you help us get this safety message across to the community. Don't forget to check out the Long Lake Fire Facebook page and stay safe.
LMCC Community Television has come a long way since its inception in 1984.
Oh, buongiorno, friends. We've got an exciting show for you today. Today's secret Yellow Pages letter is B. All right, let's get to it.
Yeesh. Did anyone actually watch this program? But now, LMCC's high-definition evolution is complete. Introducing Community Channel 12 in HD. Watch high school sports, concerts, and LMCC's award-winning original programming in crystal clear HD. Your community TV, now in HD.
Bremer Bank, St. Anthony, Maine. Bremer Bank, Richfield.
It's time for Scam Alert. This segment alerts the public on scams that have been reported to local police departments.
When local stores ran out of supplies needed to manage COVID-19, many people turned to online sources. However, according to the Federal Trade Commission, many scammers ran online sites and took orders for scarce items but did not deliver. More people have reported problems with online shopping to the FTC than ever before, and more than half of them said they never got what they paid for. Early in the pandemic, shady sellers put up websites offering hard-to-find products, such as face masks, sanitizer, toilet paper, thermometers, and gloves. When customers asked about their orders, scammers said the pandemic was causing shipping delays, but would then stop responding. When people reported undelivered orders to the FTC, face masks were the #1 missing item. Reports about online shopping issues are not new for the FTC. People have reported losing a total of almost $420 million related to online shopping issues since 2015. To avoid problems when you shop online, check out a seller before you buy. Type the website or company name into a search engine with words like scam, complaint, or review. Pay by credit card. If you are charged for an order you never got, contact your credit card company and dispute the charge. Keep copies of the product description, price, receipt, and emails between you and the seller, including any messages about shipping delays. If you see a scam or want to report a problem about online shopping, report it to the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov/complaint. Identity thieves are using stolen social security numbers to file for unemployment benefits in other people's names. If you believe you have been a victim of this kind of unemployment fraud, the Orono Police Department recommends taking these steps to protect your financial identity and credit history. Get organized. As you go through the process, keep a file folder or journal with information from the incident and your reports, including any case numbers. Contact your employer's Human Resources Department to document the incident. Contact the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, or DEED, at 651-259-7114 or deed.customerservice@state.mn.us. Make a report with your local police department. Contact the 3 major credit bureaus: Experian at 1-888-397-3742, TransUnion at 1-800-680-7289, and Equifax at 1-888-766-0008. Get free credit reports by visiting annualcreditreport.com or calling 1-877-322-8228. You should check your credit activity at least once a year. If you are a victim of identity theft, you have the right to check it monthly. Tell the credit bureaus a fraudulent unemployment claim was made using your identity and have one of the credit bureaus place a fraud alert on your identity. Contact the Federal Trade Commission and the Internal Revenue Service and file a report with the FTC and give them the case number from your local police report. To contact the Orono Police Department, call 952-249-4700. The Medina Police Department has received multiple reports of individuals claiming to be part of a government organization and demanding funds. In one case, they requested over $1,000 in gift cards. Here are a few tips to remember. No organization will request gift cards, MoneyGram, or Western Union. If you receive an email, phone call, or text message from a person you do not recognize, do not answer it, open it, or click on links inside of that message. If you are selling an item, never accept a check for more than what you are asking, especially if they want you to deposit it and send money back. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. If you have questions regarding the legitimacy of a message or request, contact the Medina Police Department at 763-473-9209.
Thanks for watching First Responder TV, your local public safety source. If you have an idea for a segment, an upcoming public safety or fire prevention event, please let us know. This is Kellie Murphy-Ringate giving you information you can use, share, and to live by. See you next time.